I'm not doing it now. I've used barbells for over 40 years. They're damn near a miracle, but they're not perfect. Properly used, they're perfectly safe. Improperly used, they are extremely dangerous. Improperly used, a Nautilus machine is dangerous. Improperly used, any tool is dangerous. A Nautilus machine is nothing more nor less than an improved barbell. A logical barbell, a rational barbell, a sane barbell. Yet you got all these experts out here telling you, oh, you got to use free weights for power, and you got to use Nautilus for this, and you got to use a sandbag for that. Train this way for definition, train that way for power, train some other way for speed, train some other way for size. BS, crap, nonsense. If you are training in such a fashion that you are producing results, you will increase all of those factors, and damn near on a 1-to-1 ratio. Your muscular anaerobic endurance goes up and down in direct proportion to your increases in strength. Your static strength and your dynamic strength go up and down in direct proportion to one another, and anybody who believes otherwise is too dumb to talk to. And yet, many of the experts in the field of exercise physiology would believe that they can increase your dynamic strength without increasing your static strength. And that is such a stupid statement, I can hardly believe it. Don't take my word for it, let's prove it. This young man comes into the gym, and he's never touched a weight in his life. And I put him in a bench press machine to test his strength. Why a machine? Because I'm testing his strength, not his skill. Either he can raise it or he can't. Either he can lift it or he can't. He doesn't have to balance it. He doesn't have to have the technique. He doesn't have to hit the groove. I don't care about his skill. I want to test his strength. And we find that he can lift 100 pounds once in the bench press, but just barely. He gets it up there, but that's all he can do. Now we rest him 10 minutes and we give him 105 pounds, and he cannot move it. Too heavy. So we rest him 10 minutes, and now I lift the weight for him into this position, the mid-range position, and I hand it to him, and I say, now hold it in that position if you can. And he tries, and he succeeds. He could not lift it to that position. He cannot raise it any higher, but he can hold it motionless. How much force is he producing? 105 pounds. How do we know? Because if he was producing an ounce more than 105 pounds, the bar would go up. And if he was producing an ounce less than 105 pounds, it would come down. So it's not more than 105, and it's not less than 105. And there's only one damn number that's neither more nor less than 105, and that's 105. So his static strength is 105 pounds, obviously. So his dynamic strength is 100. His static strength is 105. We rest him 10 minutes, we give him 110. And he cannot hold it, it goes back down. That exceeded his static strength. 6 months later, he's been training regularly. I've been observing him. I assume that he's doubled his strength. Take him into the gym, I put him back in the same machine, and I give him 200 pounds. And he pushes it up. Not very fast, but it goes up. He is twice as strong dynamically as he was 6 months earlier. 6 months earlier, he could do it with 100. Now he can do it with 200. Are you now really dumb enough to believe that if I then gave him 110 pounds in the mid-range, that it would come crashing down onto his chest? That's what the isokinetic people would have you believe. They would have you believe that they can double your dynamic strength while not doing a damn thing for your static strength. That man had to produce over 200 pounds to raise that 200. He had to produce over 200 pounds of force to get it started. And once it was started, he had to produce exactly 200 to keep it going. So his muscles, that's all muscles do, is produce force. whether movement occurs or doesn't occur depends upon the resistance opposing that force. If the resistance is lighter than the force, it'll move. If the resistance is equal to the force, it won't move. If the resistance exceeds the force, then it'll move down. That's just common sense. And yet, they would have you believe that having doubled his dynamic strength, that nothing has happened to his static strength. That is stupid almost beyond belief. Now, why would an MD or a PhD or a PDQ or whatever they might be believe something that dumb? Because they put him in a Cybex machine and they train him, and not a damn thing happens except he accommodates to the pain